Sacred Song was introduced to a beautiful song last month that we all gave as a gift, if you will recall, to the people of Minneapolis. Sending You Light. And we appropriated this song for our in-home singing. It seems to work very well for the kind of care that we give. And if you will, allow yourself to find some space inside that you can allow this song to be a caring light in you. This is for you.
I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter where you go, no matter where you've been, you'll never walk alone. I feel you deep within. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter what you feel or what you choose to show, I'm always there for you, and so I want you to know. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I walk the path with you. Go slow, dear one, don't hurry. I'll go just like you need to go. There is no need to worry. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love.
One of the things that we are, that is so embedded in our culture, is consumers. We are consumers. So if you have consumed your strawberry, I want to invite you to please come up and get another one. If you didn't get one, I invite you to come and take a strawberry or a walnut. But assuming that we're all ready, I invite you once again to sit comfortably. Place your strawberry or your walnut in the palm of an open hand. And for the next few moments, we're going to just practice paying attention. So if you're comfortable doing so, I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. This works better with our eyes closed for this first part. And take a slow breath in and let it out. And another breath in and out. Now, keeping your eyes closed, bring your attention to the strawberry in your hand. Begin by noticing any sensations of touch. Notice its texture. Perhaps it's smooth in some places. Maybe it's slightly bumpy. You chose a walnut. Feel those grooves. On the strawberries, feel the seeds, the little dimples along the surface. And now really notice the weight of it in your hand. Is it heavier or lighter than you expected? Now feel the temperature. Is it cool, or has it perhaps been warmed by your body, by your hand? And just explore what you're holding gently with your fingers. Imagine that you have never known what you're holding before, that this is your first encounter with what you are holding. What could it be? Now, with your eyes still closed, let's bring our attention to the smell. Bring it up to your nose, and what do you notice? Is it sweet? Is it subtle? Perhaps there's an absence of scent. You might notice the scent better if you breathe in slowly and just observe whatever is or isn't there. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Take a moment to really look at what you're holding. Really examine it. Notice the variations of color. See the different textures. Observe the shape, curves and contours. The green leaves resting on the top like a small crown. Imagine as though you're looking at it with fresh eyes, again, like you've never seen this before. Spend a moment there. Admire. Take in. And now let's close our eyes once more, just for a minute. And slowly bring what you're holding towards your mouth, but don't eat it just yet. Don't eat it. Notice what happens in your body as you anticipate eating it. Right? Yeah, I'm drawing this out. Perhaps your mouth begins to water. Perhaps you feel a little impatient. impatient. These are locally grown strawberries, y'all. Perhaps you're curious. Simply notice. Now, take one small bite, but pause for a moment before you chew. Just notice as you're holding it in your mouth where the flavor begins and where does it spread into what parts of your mouth are reacting. And now begin to chew slowly. Taste the sweetness, perhaps some tartness, perhaps some tannins. Notice the texture as it changes in your mouth as you're chewing. Notice if more flavors are released. And when you're ready, go ahead and swallow. And take a breath. And notice what remains. Perhaps a lingering sweetness, perhaps a feeling of satisfaction, perhaps a longing for another bite. Go ahead. And for just a moment, let's reflect on everything that made this strawberry, this walnut, whatever it is that you've taken in. Just bring our attention to everything that it took for it to get there, into your hands, into your mouth, into your body. The soil, right? The sun, the rain, the farmers in the field, the workers who planted and harvested it, the many hands that brought it right here to us. This small act of attention reminds us that even something as simple as a strawberry is part of the vast web of connection. And take one more breath in and one more breath out. Let's bring our attention back to this room and to one another. To live in this world and to pay attention to it often feels like there are ferocious tigers chasing us. We may often feel like we are clinging to that vine, and the circumstances of our immediate lives are gnawing away at the very things in front of us and behind us, and we are really trying not to lose our grip, right? And the future below us, well, that's just as scary as our hearts and minds fill with worry about what's ahead and that it's not going to be any better and maybe it's going to be worse. We become anxious. No doubt all of this causes our bodies, our spirits much stress. It causes actual harm to us. And we also know that not everybody escapes those tigers. We know that. The metaphors that are represented in that Zen parable, the things that are represented there, they're very real in our lives, right? And yet, the present moment always offers us something else as well. So just a moment ago, we shared an experience. We shared the presence of being with a strawberry, a walnut, whatever else we had. We touched it, we smelled it, we tasted it, and nothing dramatic happened. No thunderbolt of spiritual insight. No choir of angels. No answers to the problems of our day. And yet, something quiet may have shifted. For a few moments, we slowed down. We paid attention to something right in front of us. And in doing so, we practiced something both ancient and surprisingly radical in our own time. We practiced being present. Now, the strawberry meditation that we just did is based on what's called a raisin meditation. But raisins bring up unfavorable feelings in some folks. So I went with strawberries because they're in seasons. But if you want to know more about the raisin meditation, Jack told me this morning that there was a podcast on the New York Times just about it this morning. So check that out. What was the podcast? The Daily. Check out The Daily. They talk about the raisin practice, which, by the way, with a raisin, that practice was drawn out to 25 minutes. So you're welcome. Raisins or strawberries, it's a lovely practice, and it's one you can do with anything, the first bite of your breakfast or dinner, your first sip of coffee or tea in the morning, and if you forego the tasting, you could even do it with any object, really, a pine cone, a patch of grass, your favorite scarf. There are literally endless possibilities of things you can use to engage in a moment of mindfulness. John Kabat-Zinn is credited with popularizing this type of mindful meditation. He is the creator of the Stress Reduction Clinic and Center for Mindfulness in Medicine, and is also a well-known published author and an expert on the subject of mindfulness. One of his most well-known books is Wherever You Go, There You Are. Sounds humorous. Of course, wherever you go, there you are. But Kabat-Zinn was naming something most of us know is not always true in practice, because very often we are not actually where we are, right? Our bodies are here, but our minds are somewhere else, thinking about a meeting, replaying a conversation from yesterday, worrying about the news, planning dinner, rehearsing what we should have said, living in the future or in the past, but rarely in the small, ordinary miracle of this moment are we. I was reminded of this recently in a very ordinary moment. I went to the kitchen to make toast like I do most mornings, and while the bread was toasting, I picked up my phone just for a second. One message led to another, and then an email, and then a news headline, and then somehow, mysteriously, I was watching a video of a dog on a skateboard. Yeah. When the toast was ready, I realized something remarkable had happened. I had been standing in the kitchen the whole time, but I'd not actually been in the kitchen, right? My body had been there, but my mind had traveled across the entire internet in that 2-minute time span. I suspect I am not the only one who experiences this on the daily. How often are we physically present in our lives, but mentally somewhere else entirely? Even when somebody is having a conversation with us, even if I am talking to you right now, your mind wanders off and you're planning things, right? It's so hard to stay right here. A mindfulness practice begins with a very simple invitation. Come back. Come back to this breath, come back to this body, come back to this moment. Not because this moment is perfect, not because this moment is easy, but because this moment is where things are actually happening in this moment. Go back to the poet, the beloved poet Mary Oliver, who also once wrote, "Attention is the beginning of devotion, and mindfulness is really the practice of attention." It's the practice of noticing, of learning again how to be present in our lives. And now this may sound very small: a strawberry, a walnut, a pine cone, a breath, a moment of attention. But spiritual traditions across the world have long known something important. These small practices have enormous power because the way that we pay attention shapes the way we live. When we rush through our lives on autopilot, distracted by everything, we miss things. we miss beauty, we miss connection, we miss the quiet signals of our own heart. But when we slow down, even briefly, for just a moment, our perception begins to change. Suddenly we notice things that were always there, always. The sweetness of the strawberry, the warmth of a hand, the sound of laughter or birds outside your window, the way the sunlight lands on the wall in your kitchen in the morning. And sometimes mindfulness even helps us notice the strange habits of our own minds. For example, have you ever sat down to meditate and suddenly remembered every single thing you forgot to do in the last 10 years? Yeah, it's a good way if you want to work on your to-do list, just sit down to meditate. You'll remember everything. The email you didn't send, the awkward thing you said in 1997, the one grocery item you forgot. It turns out our minds are incredibly creative when it senses that we might actually be sitting still and looks for something to do. And mindfulness teachers will tell you this is completely normal because the goal of mindfulness is not to have an empty mind, not at all. The goal is simply to notice the wandering of our mind. Oh, here I go again. Let me bring myself back to the breath, right? This is not perfection, it's practice. And then we gently come back again and again to the breath, to the strawberry, to the pine cone, to the sounds, to the very way that the air feels on our skin right now. And the more we practice this returning, the more present we become all the time. Not just to strawberries or breathing, but to one another and to ourselves. Because mindfulness is not only about becoming calmer individuals, at its deepest level, mindfulness is about waking up to our interconnected lives. Even that strawberry reminded us of it. The soil, the rain, the sunlight, the farmers who grew it, the workers who harvested it, the truck driver who delivered it, the grocery clerk who stocked it, the countless unseen lives that made a single bite possible. We can even go into history. Where did the strawberry get cultivated? Where do they naturally grow in the wild? Mindfulness reveals that nothing arrives alone, and neither do we. We too are part of that web, which is why mindfulness can become something more than a wellness technique. It can become a spiritual practice, a way of remembering our place in the larger whole, a way of softening the illusion that we are separate from one another, which is what that cluttered thinking does to us so often. Pulls us away. Our imposter syndrome nitpicks away at us, right? And when that illusion softens, something beautiful often follows: gratitude, compassion, generosity with others and ourselves. Because when we really see how deeply our lives are intertwined, we begin to care more tenderly about the world that sustains us. Now, mindfulness does not mean ignoring suffering. It does not mean pretending everything is fine. In fact, mindfulness often means the opposite. It means being willing to see clearly what is happening in our lives, in our community, and in our world. Mindfulness helps us respond from awareness rather than reactivity. It steadies us. It roots us. It reminds us that even in difficult times, we still have choices about how we want to show up in this world. Which brings us back to Kabat-Zinn's simple truth. Wherever you go, there you are. We carry our awareness or our distraction with us everywhere. But the good news is that mindfulness is a practice, and like any practice, it grows stronger the more we engage it. So this week, I want to let you all know that we're going to start a simple midweek meditation practice here at UUSM that'll happen bi-monthly on the first and third Wednesdays at 5:30 in the lounge. Another weekly reset, midweek, every other Pay attention to the calendar. Sometimes we'll practice sitting in silence. Sometimes we might go outside and focus our senses on the breeze, on the scents that are out there. Sometimes we might use that walking labyrinth that Marty Hoffman donated to the congregation and set it up out in the courtyard or in the social hall. Sometimes we'll have strawberries or tea. No experience is needed. No special equipment unless you want to bring a cushion. Just a willingness to pause, breathe, and come back to the moment. Just an opportunity for you to put it on your calendar to remind you to engage in it. If you found something meaningful in our meditations this morning, I hope you might consider joining us in that practice from time to time. Because practices like this are one way that our community learns together how to become more present, how to be a little more grounded, how to be a little more compassionate. And every time we pause to breathe, every time we notice what is right in front of us, every time we step outside and feel the air on our skin, we are strengthening our capacity to be present. And over time, those small moments accumulate. They shape the way we move through the world. They help us become a little less hurried, like you said in that beautiful song. They help us become a little less reactive, a little more attentive, a little more compassionate. Ordinary moments are where our spiritual lives unfold, right here in this breath, in this room, in this community, in the next conversations we hold, in the next choice we make. So perhaps the real invitation of mindfulness is simply this: to keep coming back again and again to the people beside us, to the life unfolding right here, because wherever you go, well, there you are. The present moment is always the doorway back to our lives. And the beautiful thing is we don't need to wait for special occasions to step through the doorway. It can begin at any moment, in any place, wherever you are, with a simple decision to pause. And then we notice something quite profoundly, that this moment, just as it is, this moment, just as it is enough. And that helps us to be ready for the next moment, for the next breath. So let's make it a practice to keep doing that, to keep being present, to being a little more attentive, to witness this life unfolding so beautifully around us in every moment. And in those moments, may we find connection with all things, and may we find compassion for ourselves, for our companions, for the stranger, and for the greater web of this complicated and beautiful existence. Let us be present. Blessed be. Amen. One more type of practice today before we go, loving kindness meditation, which the Sacred Song Circle is going to lead us in musically. It's in our